Do hair dyes cause cancer?
A lot. So in 2004 to 7, during my post graduation, I inherited 3 to 4 cases of lichen planus pigmentosus from my seniors, and I gave it to my juniors and came. In 3 years, we could just manage them. Just 3 cases in my entire 3 4 cases in my entire residency period. Now for every consultation day, it's at least 3 to 4 cases. It's increasing very, very, very rapidly.
Lichen planus.
Lichen planus pigmentosus. It's a variant of lichen planus where where our immunity misbehaves and targets our own
So
own
your
skin.
body thinks that your skin doesn't belong to you and starts eating up your skin.
Starts
Slightly.
creating problems in the basal layer, and there is what we call as an interface dermatitis, where pigment that is to be kept above the basal layer gets into the upper dermis.
So you're saying the frequent usage of hair dye can cause pigmentation
Yes.
in the scalp?
No, it can happen all over the body because we have certain areas that are hot targets, typically the sides of the face. Areas around, there are areas on the face, it can go on to the neck.
I see.
We are, unfortunately, we have these hot beds that can become easily pigmented. So if it is on the scalp, it becomes not very noticeable. It's kind of okay. It's
Will ammonia-free help?
not so much. It's not about ammonia. Ammonia is more about the cytotoxic risk. But this usually when you see hair dyes containing paraphenylene diamine, which is something that can trigger. But there are a lot of other such chemicals that can trigger, which are in our perfumes, which are in our room sprays, car seat, the polishes. There are a whole lot of chemicals that can trigger this for the cells to misbehave and start putting in more pigmentation in the upper layers of the dermis, from where it kind of becomes trapped and is not able to get shed off that easily. In the epidermis, it sheds periodically. In here, it gets trapped. There is a actual damage to the dermal epidermal interface.
The skin layers.
Yes. That
layers.
happens.
I read reports on hair dye causing renal and bladder cancer. Is that true?
That's the oxalate component. The renal failure part is the oxalate component that was also in news last year. But there are a whole lot of azo dyes. We've read about that in community health, where these specific chemical compounds, but most commonly present in coloring agents, colorants, can actually create aniline, azo. All of these can have a carcinogenic effect.
Is there some evidence to it?
There is some evidence. In fact, there's a very nice study called the Sister study. This is sisters of those who had CA breast were followed up for decades. And then they found out who are at risk of developing it themselves. So they found that people who had more than 4 times use of hair straightening, hair treatment products had a higher risk. So it is in this cohort. It's like a very tight cohort, and it's been followed up for more than 10-15 years. So then they were able to identify that there is a finite amount of hits that we can take, and then any coloring versus never colored or never did hair treatments, they found that was more protective for them. When you pit this against quality of life of people who are asked to stop coloring, especially when they have premature graying, it becomes very difficult to tell them about that long-term problem as compared to this. So it's the same with exposomes like smoking. Earlier, it used to be so difficult to tell people, don't smoke, you will end up in cancer.
Right.
Now you will get aging now. You will get skin issues now. So then people are able to see that.
So hair dye, there is a slight risk. But how frequent is there any cumulative exposure you could use, like once a month?
I usually say no more than 4 times in a year.
4 times in a year?
I usually say that because putting together multiple.
I think this will work only for Ajit Kumar for Salt and Pepper. 4 times a year, so once in 3 months. That's a good recommendation.
Yeah. Any hair straightening, smoothing, I say just, it cannot be, you cannot do clean chemicals in hair care. It is difficult.
It's not.
It is very difficult. You cannot completely eliminate silicons. It is very difficult to do clean chemicals in hair care. So we try our best to say limit as much as possible. Skin, of course, you can do you can completely move everything to clean chemistry based on whatever data we have. It's possible. But hair, it's about a matter of doing less as less as possible.